chosen one. Time itself has stopped to bring you here. Everything around you, every sound, every distraction has been paused by heaven's hand so that this moment can reach your spirit. You may think you stumbled upon these words by accident, but heaven does not deal in accidents. You are being called, reminded, and reawakened. You have been walking through shadows for too long, forgetting the name written on your soul before the foundations of the earth. Listen carefully now. The veil is being lifted. There is a reason you have always felt different. The reason the world's noise never truly fit your frequency. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to shine through. The calling on your life was carved in eternity, long before time began. Every season of confusion, every tear, every lonely night, it all brought you to this divine moment of remembrance. You have forgotten who you are, but heaven never did. Chosen one. Do you feel it? The stillness before revelation, the trembling in your chest that feels like thunder awakening from sleep. That is your spirit, recognizing truth. You are being reminded of the covenant sealed over your destiny. The world wanted to name you by your wounds, but heaven calls you by your purpose. You are not the mistake they said you were. You are not the failure your past whispered. You are a living prophecy. And right now, God is calling your name through eternity's echo. For too long you have carried the weight of survival when you were meant to carry the mantle of revival. You have wandered through deserts of distraction, letting the noise of doubt bury your faith under fear. But no more. This moment is not another passing video. It is a divine interruption. Heaven has pressed pause on everything to reach you. Remember this truth. Your delay was not your denial. The silence of heaven was not rejection, it was preparation. When God hides you, it is never to forget you, it is to forge you. Every time you felt unseen, heaven was building something eternal inside of you. You thought you were behind, but in the unseen realm, angels were positioning you for this exact second. The Spirit whispers even now, do not give up. You are closer than you think. You are standing at the edge of awakening. That voice you hear inside is not anxiety, it is your original language returning. The divine spark within you is being reignited. You are remembering what you once knew in the presence of the Almighty, that you were created to bring light into darkness. As the atmosphere around you shifts, do not resist the pull. Heaven is drawing you back to your identity. You are not ordinary. You carry a frequency that darkness cannot comprehend. Every time you doubted yourself, the enemy rejoiced because amnesia is his greatest weapon. If he can make you forget, he can make you powerless. But the moment you remember, his chains break. Lift your head. Chosen one. The season of silence is over. You have been called by name, and the heavens declare that no weapon formed against you will prosper. The wind of remembrance is moving right now, breathing new life into every forgotten dream. The same God who parted seas is parting your confusion. The same voice that spoke light into chaos is speaking destiny into your soul. You have not missed your moment. You are the moment heaven has been preparing. The divine call has your name written on it, pulsing through the airwaves like a heartbeat that refuses to die. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the reckoned Lord rises upon you. So take a breath. This is your awakening. Heaven is not mad at you. It is waiting for you to remember. You are being summoned back into alignment, into purpose, into truth. The light inside you is rising again, and it will not be dimmed this time. If your spirit feels this truth, let the world know that you have heard heaven's voice. Like, share, and comment 777 below as a prophetic declaration that you remember who you are. And if you haven't already, subscribe so that every message of light finds its way to you again. You are the chosen one, and this is only the beginning. Before you were born, chosen one, heaven already knew your name. The stars themselves trembled when your destiny was written. For the scroll of your life was not inked in uncertainty, it was carved in eternal light. You are not an afterthought, not an accident, drifting through time. You were conceived in the mind of God before breath ever entered your lungs. Every moment of your existence was foreseen. Every heartbeat preordained. Every battle you would face already measured against the strength that heaven placed inside you. You have always been known. The day you were formed in your mother's womb, the Creator whispered, "This one is mine." You were not just given life, you were assigned purpose. You were marked with divine fingerprints long before your first cry echoed in the air. The world saw a child, but heaven saw a weapon sharpened by grace, sealed with destiny. That is why, even in your earliest years, you felt different. You sensed that you were walking to a rhythm others could not hear. That rhythm was heaven's heartbeat pulsing through your soul. There are no coincidences in the story of the chosen. Even the pain that once confused you was part of your preparation. The rejection you endured was heaven's redirection. The places you were denied entry were never your destination. You were not meant to settle where comfort kills. Calling, every delay was heaven's way of protecting divine timing. You could not see it then, but the hand of God was weaving purpose through every disappointment. Beloved, there is a reason you have always been set apart. The conversations that bored you, the lifestyles that never fit, the dreams that refused to die inside you, these were signals from the Spirit that you were designed for something greater. You were chosen not because you were flawless, but because you were willing. The potter does not pick the perfect clay. He chooses the clay that can be molded. You are that vessel. And when you look back now, you will see it. The patterns, the protection, the providence. Every time life seemed to fall apart, something sacred was actually falling into place. You were never alone in those moments. Heaven stood watch, guarding what you could not understand. You may have cursed the storm, but the storm was carrying you toward your divine coordinates. Before you entered this world, heaven placed an imprint on your spirit, a remembrance of where you came from. That's why the world never truly satisfied you. No amount of success, attention, or validation could fill that ancient longing inside. Because your soul remembers home. It remembers the light. It remembers the sound of His voice before language existed. You are not chasing dreams. You are chasing recognition of what your spirit already knows to be true. Heaven has never forgotten what it said about you. Even when you wandered, even when you rebelled, even when you thought you had ruined it, all your names still glowed on heaven's registry. The blood of destiny cannot be erased by human error. You were chosen for an assignment that outlives failure, that transcends time, that carries eternal weight. Listen closely now, for this is truth breaking through the veil. Before any wound touched you, the Word covered you. Before pain entered your story, purpose was already written in. You are not walking toward destiny. Destiny is unfolding through you. You are not a soul searching for meaning. You are meaning wrapped in skin. As the prophet David proclaimed in the Psalms, chapter 139, verse 16, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in the book before one of them came to be." That is the essence of who you are, known before birth, appointed before awakening, sent before sin tried to stain you. The enemy saw your blueprint and tried to break you early, hoping you would forget the truth written here. But heaven is relentless. It will not allow you to remain blind to your origin. Every storm that shook you was only shaking loose the lies that tried to attach themselves to your soul. Do you see it now? Every scar tells the story of someone chosen. Every ache in your spirit is a memory of the eternal. You were never lost. You were being led through the wilderness of forgetting so that your remembrance would become your testimony. The greater the distance you traveled from your true identity, the greater the glory in your return. So stand still for a moment. Let heaven remind you again, you were not born to merely exist, you were sent to awaken. The same hands that shaped galaxies shaped you with intention. You are both creation and calling. And everything you have endured until now was orchestrated to lead you back to this sacred remembrance. You were known, loved, and chosen long before time began. You have always known, deep in the quiet corners of your heart, that you were different. From the moment you opened your eyes to this world, there was something about you that did not blend in. You tried to fit. You tried to silence that inner pulse. But no matter how hard you tried, something holy kept stirring within you. The laughter of crowds could not drown it out. The approval of others could not satisfy it. Because your spirit was never built to conform, it was born to carry the mark of difference. Chosen one. Your difference has been both your blessing and your burden. It made you a target, but it also made you chosen. When others saw you as strange, heaven saw you as sacred. The very things that made you feel out of place were actually signs that you were from another realm. The language of your soul never matched the noise of the world, because it was tuned to heaven's frequency. You have been misunderstood, not because you are broken, but because you are divine in a world that prefers the ordinary. You were designed to disturb darkness. Your light irritates those who have grown comfortable in the shadows. And that is why life has not been easy for you. It never was supposed to be. You carry something ancient, something the world cannot comprehend. Every time you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. Every time you speak truth, chains tremble. You have carried burdens that were never yours, felt emotions that belonged to generations before you, and stood in gaps that others abandoned. Do you think that was random? No. It was assignment. God trusted you with weight that would have crushed others, because deep within you is steel forged by divine fire. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 30, "And those he predestined, he also called. Those he called, he also justified. Those he justified, he also glorified." Oh, you see now your difference is not a defect. It is proof of your calling. Every season of loneliness was a training ground. Every no you received was God's redirection to a greater yes. You were never overlooked. You were preserved. Heaven could not allow you to be contaminated by places you did not belong. You were meant to walk a narrow road because the wide one cannot handle your purpose. There were moments you begged God to make you like everyone else. You prayed, "Why can't I just be normal?" But heaven heard those words with compassion, not frustration, because the potter cannot shape you like the rest when you were made for a different destiny. You are not meant to walk in imitation. You were built for revelation. And now, the world you once tried to fit into is becoming too small for you. The spiritual tension you feel is the sound of heaven stretching your capacity. The same fire that made you uncomfortable is the same fire that will make you unstoppable. The Spirit is whispering again. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to set things in order, to shift the atmosphere wherever you go. That's why you feel things others ignore. You sense storms before they arrive. You discern truth when others are deceived. Because you are spiritually awake in a world that is sleeping. The mark of the different is sensitivity to pain, to light, to purpose. It is both gift and challenge, but do not curse it. This is heaven's way of reminding you that you were born to carry light where others carry confusion. Chosen one. Hear this truth. You are not strange, you are strategic. The very people who doubted you will one day look to you for guidance. The ones who mocked your faith will see the evidence of what they once laughed at. When God sets a person apart, He also sets them above the limitations of man's expectations. You are entering that season now. There is a shift taking place in your spirit. The fog is clearing. The memory of who you are is returning. You are not lost. You are awakening. The discomfort you feel is not punishment. It's the stretching of your destiny. You are expanding into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. And now, chosen one, it is time for you to declare it, to affirm what heaven has already said about you. Type, "I am set apart," in the comments. Do it not for the algorithm, but as a prophetic act, a statement of identity. Every time you write it, you are engraving that truth deeper into your spirit. You are declaring to heaven and to hell alike, "I remember who I am." This is the mark of the different, the fire that cannot be quenched, the calling that cannot be cancelled, the destiny that cannot be denied. You have carried the weight of misunderstanding, but from this day forward, you will carry the weight of glory. You are the chosen one. You are set apart, and heaven is not finished writing your story yet. Chosen one. The weight you carried was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to define you. Every tear that fell in silence, every night you felt invisible, every moment you asked heaven, "Why me?" None of it was wasted. You carried what others could not. You endured pain that seemed unbearable because there was something sacred being formed in the dark. You were being prepared for the light. You see, before crowns are placed, crosses are carried. Before promotion comes purification. The greater the call, the greater the crushing. You have been through seasons that didn't make sense, storms that felt unfair, betrayals that left scars deeper than words could describe. But now you are beginning to see that what felt like punishment was preparation. Heaven was shaping endurance in you, faith in you, resilience in you. There were times when you cried out for relief, and heaven stayed silent. It wasn't cruelty, it was construction. You were being built from the inside out. Every unanswered prayer was actually an answer in disguise, protecting you from things you couldn't yet perceive. You wanted peace, but God wanted power. You wanted comfort, but heaven wanted capacity. So the weight remained, not to break you, but to build you, beloved. The pain you felt was not proof of abandonment. It was evidence of assignment. God does not waste pain. The same fire that refines gold has been refining you. You thought the delay meant denial. But the truth is, heaven was waiting until your spirit was strong enough to carry what's coming next. The higher the mountain, the deeper the foundation must be. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Len, that is what your pain has been doing all along, achieving something eternal, invisible, glorious. The world saw your suffering, but heaven saw your becoming. You were being transformed into someone who could handle divine weight. The tears that once blurred your vision are the very waters now nourishing your spiritual growth. Remember how you questioned your worth during those hard seasons? How you thought maybe you had failed? Maybe God had turned away? But look at you now, still standing, still believing, still breathing destiny into the atmosphere. That is proof that grace never left you. It carried you when you could not carry yourself. Sometimes the weight of life makes you feel small, forgotten, overlooked. But heaven has never lost sight of you. The angels assigned to your name never stopped guarding you, even when you thought you were alone. The trials that tried to drown you actually taught you how to walk on water. You were being taught faith, not in theory, but in practice. Chosen one. Every burden you bore carried hidden wisdom. When you lost people, heaven was teaching you how to let go. When you lost control, heaven was teaching you how to trust. When you felt powerless, heaven was teaching you how to access divine strength. You were being trained in the invisible art of endurance, the kind that only warriors of light understand. You didn't realize it then, but you were being entrusted with secrets. You learned how to pray when no one was listening. You learned how to fight when no one was cheering. You learned how to stand when everything inside you screamed to fall. Those lessons have become spiritual armor. And now, when darkness looks your way, it recognizes a survivor, one who did not break under pressure, one who carries heaven's seal. Do not despise the weight anymore. It made you wise. It made you aware. It made you dangerous to the enemy's plans. Every pain you endured turned into a prophecy fulfilled. You would rise from ashes, radiant with understanding. You now walk with authority that cannot be taught. It can only be birthed through breaking. This is why you had to carry so much. Not because God was punishing you, but because He was trusting you with empathy, with discernment, with power. The oil that flows from your life now came from the crushing of your past. That is why your words heal others, they carry weight. That is why your presence calms chaos. It carries peace, forged through pain. You are not defined by what broke you. You are defined by what you became after the breaking. The same God who watched you struggle will now watch you soar. The season of heaviness was only the beginning of your transformation. And soon, what once felt unbearable will become the very testimony that sets others free. So lift your eyes. Chosen one. The weight that once pressed you down is now the very thing that lifts you higher. The glory that was hidden in your pain is about to be revealed. And when you look back, you'll realize it was all worth it. The battle has never been around you. Chosen one, it has always been within you. The battlefield is your mind. Every doubt, every whisper, every fear that rises like a storm inside your chest, it all begins there. Darkness does not attack your circumstances first, it attacks your thoughts. Because if it can claim your mind, it can control your destiny. You have felt it, haven't you? Those quiet wars inside you, where hope and despair wrestle for your attention. Some mornings you wake up ready to conquer the world, and by nightfall, you're drowning in invisible heaviness. That isn't coincidence, it's spiritual warfare. The enemy has been after your peace, because peace is your power. He knows that a still mind hears heaven clearly. That is why he plants noise in your thoughts. But hear this truth. Your mind was never meant to be a battlefield. It was meant to be a throne. Heaven designed it as a place of rulership, not ruin. You were created to think from above, not from below. The lies that tell you you're not enough, you'll never make it, you've missed your chance, those are not your thoughts. They are seeds of sabotage planted by darkness to distract you from your divine identity. Chosen one. Do not believe every thought that visits you. Some voices sound like you, but they are not you. Some fears feel like instinct, but they are intrusion. You must begin to guard your mind like a gatekeeper standing before a sacred temple. Not every idea deserves entry. Some must be refused with the authority heaven has placed in you. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. No, you see, heaven has already given you a filter. Every time a thought comes that drains you, you can ask, is this pure? Is this noble? Is this true? If not, it does not belong in the temple of your mind. Think of your thoughts like a garden. Whatever you water grows. When you feed fear, it blossoms into paralysis. When you nurture faith, it blooms into miracles. You have the power to decide which seeds live and which ones die. The weeds of worry may try to choke your peace, but you can uproot them through prayer, through worship, through stillness in the Word. You are not losing your mind, you are learning how to manage it. The world calls it mental pressure, but heaven calls it training. You are being trained to think like a king, to perceive like a prophet, to discern like a warrior. Every time you silence a lie, you win a battle in the unseen realm. Every time you choose truth over fear, the heavens applaud. Beloved, this is why you must take care of the vessel that carries this battlefield. Rest when you need to. Feed your soul with beauty. Surround yourself with sounds that bring peace, not confusion. Speak kindly to yourself. Because your words are swords, you can either wound your spirit or set it free. When the noise of life becomes overwhelming, imagine yourself as a lighthouse in the storm. The waves may roar, the sky may rage, but your light remains. It does not fight the sea, it simply shines. That is what you are called to do. Be the light in your own mind first, and then let that light spill outward into the world. And if this message has touched something inside you, let it find its way forward. Like the ripple of a single drop in still water, your small act can reach countless others. Like, share, or subscribe, not out of routine, but as a way of extending light. You never know who might need this exact reminder tonight. And if you feel led, If your heart stirs to give back to the flow that nourishes your spirit, you may sow a seed of support, a donation, a gesture of gratitude to keep this message alive for others who are still fighting in silence. Every act of generosity becomes part of the light. It's not about money, it's about movement. You are helping hope travel farther. You are not just a listener, you are a builder of light. You are part of something divine that multiplies every time it's shared. The words that awaken you now will awaken another through your simple act of passing them on. Remember, the war in your mind ends when you remember who reigns there. Peace is not found in the absence of battle, but in the presence of authority. You have that authority. You carry the mind of Christ, and no darkness can take that away. Chosen one, let your thoughts rise higher. Let your spirit breathe deeper, and let your mind become what heaven intended all along, a throne of light that no storm can conquer. Chosen one, heaven is opening the scroll of remembrance. The words written about you long before your birth are being unsealed again. For too long, you've walked through life forgetting what was spoken over you. But now, the Spirit calls you to remember, to awaken to the covenant written in light, sealed by divine hands before time began. There is a book in heaven that bears your name. Inside it are moments not yet lived, victories not yet seen, and prayers not yet prayed. Every word written there was written in love, not ink. You have a destiny crafted by eternity, a design that no power of darkness can erase. And yet, the greatest battle you face is not whether it exists, but whether you believe it. You were born into a world that taught you to forget. The noise of culture, the rush of survival, the wounds of betrayal, all of it conspired to make you doubt that you were ever chosen. But the scrolls never forgot. Heaven's record of your life still glows, untouched by time. And tonight, that light is reaching for you again. The prophet Daniel saw this truth in a vision, as recorded in his book, chapter 7, verse 10. The court was seated, and the books were opened. Heaven keeps records. Beloved, not to condemn you, but to remind you, every time you feel lost, heaven reopens the book and whispers your true name. Every time you fall, the pages turn to the part where you rise again. Nothing has been erased, only rewritten in grace. You may have wandered, but you have not been deleted. You may have fallen, but the author never stopped writing. The ink of destiny does not fade. It is eternal. You are part of a story far greater than your pain, far deeper than your understanding. Think of it like this. The scrolls of heaven are like a symphony, and your life is one note within it. When you forget who you are, that note falls silent. But when you remember, when you choose to realign with heaven's melody, the whole song begins to rise again. Angels lean in. Creation exhales. The sound of remembrance fills the air. Beloved, heaven is calling your spirit to read again what was written. You were not called to be ordinary. You were assigned to be light in places forgotten by light. The fire that burns inside you was never self-made. It was breathed into you. That is why you cannot quit. Even when you try, destiny keeps pulling you back to alignment. And do not think your struggles have cancelled your purpose, nor mistake, nor delay. No detour can rewrite the book. God has already finished. You are not disqualified. You are in development. The pages of your pain are the very ones that give your story power. What you thought would end you has become your evidence that grace still works. Sometimes, when you're tired and worn, you wonder if heaven has forgotten your name. But even the silence of God carries meaning. The pause is not absence, it's the sound of heaven turning the page. A new chapter is beginning, and it begins with remembrance. Do not be surprised when people who once knew you no longer recognize you. The version of you that existed in survival cannot survive in destiny. You are being rewritten, refined, and reborn. Heaven is restoring the language of your soul, the language of faith, power, and peace. Listen to me. Chosen one, every word written about you will come to pass. The scroll of your destiny will not remain closed forever. Even now, heaven is breathing on the pages again, awakening every dormant promise. You will see with your eyes what your spirit already knows. The key is to remember. Remember who wrote your story. Remember who signed it with blood and sealed it with purpose. You are not forgotten. You are being reintroduced to yourself through divine memory. And as you feel this truth stir inside, mark this moment. Comment 9,999 below as a prophetic act of remembrance. It's not superstition, it's symbolism. 4 nines for divine completion, for the closing of one chapter and the awakening of another. When you type it, you are declaring, I remember what heaven said about me. I am returning to my written destiny. This is a moment of realignment. A spiritual signature written from your soul back to the throne. You are saying yes again. You are agreeing with the scroll of heaven. Chosen one. Heaven is watching. Angels are recording. And the page has turned. The book of your destiny is open again. Walk into what was written. Step into what was promised. Remember what was sealed. And never again let the world make you forget what heaven already knows. You are chosen. You are marked. And your name is written in eternal light. Chosen one. Do you remember the moment when everything seemed to blur, when pain became louder than purpose? And the world convinced you that you were just another name, another face, another ordinary soul trying to survive. That was the moment of forgetting, the moment when the noise of the earth drowned out the whisper of heaven. It didn't happen all at once. Forgetting comes like a fog, slow, soft, almost unnoticeable. It creeps into your thoughts with small compromises, with quiet doubts, one disappointment, one heartbreak, one unanswered prayer at a time. You stopped dreaming because it hurt too much to hope. You stopped praying because you thought no one was listening. You stopped shining because the world mocked your light. But heaven saw it. Every tear, every night, you stared at the ceiling and asked, where did I lose myself? Even when you walked away from your calling never walked away from you. It followed you through the noise, through the pain, through the people who didn't understand. Destiny waited patiently for your heart to remember what your soul never forgot. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 12. I will be with you, and this shall be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. And the forgetting was not failure, it was formation. Heaven allowed you to walk through silence so that when you remembered, your remembrance would be deeper, truer, unshakable. You cannot value identity until you have felt the ache of losing it. You cannot truly know light until you have lived in shadow. Think about those years that felt wasted, the relationships that drained you, the jobs that suffocated your soul, the moments where you smiled in public but broke in private. None of it was meaningless. Those were the pages of your wilderness necessary for the weight of your promised land. The world teaches you that forgetting is failure, but in heaven's design, forgetting is the soil of remembering. The cocoon looks like a tomb until wings appear. The dark place you were in wasn't a grave, it was an incubation. What felt like loss was simply transformation. God hid you in pain because He needed to reveal you in power. Every unanswered prayer became the foundation for the strength you now carry. The truth is, chosen one. You were never disconnected. You were being deepened. Heaven had to let the noise grow loud so that you would learn how to hear the still, small voice again. In the quiet of pain, you learn to listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. That is how heaven trains warriors, through silence, through pressure, through obscurity. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven was engraving your name deeper. You thought you had fallen too far, but grace was already below you, waiting to catch what pride could not hold. Forgetting your worth did not make you worthless. It made you human. And humanity is where divinity loves to reveal itself most. Now, the fog is lifting, slowly, like dawn after a storm. You are beginning to feel again, to remember again. That fire inside that you thought had died, it never did. It was only buried under ashes of disappointment. But ashes are not endings, they are beginnings. From them, beauty rises. From them, life breathes again. Chosen one. The reason your heart still aches is because it remembers the light. The reason you feel restlessness is because your spirit knows you were made for more. The world tries to label that feeling as anxiety, as overthinking, as need for validation. But what you truly crave is reunion. Reunion with purpose. Reunion with peace. Reunion with the voice that first called you by name. Heaven is not angry with you for forgetting. Heaven is rejoicing that you are remembering. Every step you take back toward alignment sends ripples through the unseen. Angels take notice when a chosen one wakes up. The air around you begins to shift. Old patterns lose their grip, and the chains of self-doubt begin to fall away. And so, let this truth settle deep in your bones. Your forgetting did not disqualify you, it positioned you. You were never lost, you were being led. You were never forsaken, you were being formed. Every moment of confusion is being redeemed into clarity, and every tear is being turned into oil for your next season. You are remembering now, and with remembrance comes restoration. The God who called you at the beginning is calling you again, not to repeat the past, but to rise from it. The moment of forgetting is ending. The dawn of remembrance is here. Chosen one. There was a season when you mistook silence for absence, when you thought heaven had turned its face away. You prayed, and the sky felt sealed. You cried, and only echoes answered. But what you called abandonment was actually concealment. You were not forgotten, you were hidden. When God hides you, it is never to punish, it is always to protect. There are times when heaven must veil a soul because the world around it is not yet ready for its light. You wanted visibility, but heaven wanted maturity. You longed to be seen, but heaven was shaping what would be seen. You asked, "Why can't anyone recognize my worth?" And the voice of the Spirit whispered, "Because I am still refining your gold." Oh, the prophet Isaiah revealed this mystery in his writings. Chapter 49. Verse 2. He made my mouth like a sharpened sword. In the shadow of his hand, he hid me. He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in his quiver. Think of the seed buried in soil. From the surface, it appears forgotten, invisible, dead. But beneath the ground, a holy process unfolds. Darkness becomes a womb, pressure becomes growth, and silence becomes strength. That was you, hidden beneath the noise of the world. Your roots were growing deep. Heaven was preparing you to break through in strength, not in haste. In the seasons of hiddenness, pride dies and purpose is purified. You learn to worship without applause, to serve without reward, to love without recognition. These are not losses, they are lessons. Because only when you stop needing the world's validation can you carry heaven's revelation. Chosen one. Hiding has never been your enemy. It has been your sanctuary. God's hand was your covering, His timing, your shield. You were not buried to be forgotten. You were planted to be fruitful. The soil of obscurity was shaping your character for the sunlight of destiny. Remember those moments when opportunities slipped away, when people turned their backs, when doors you prayed for stayed shut. Heaven wasn't saying no, it was saying not yet. For if God had revealed you too soon, the very stage you prayed for would have crushed what He was still building. Visibility without spiritual stability becomes vulnerability, and heaven loved you too much to allow that. You needed time in the shadows to hear the voice that fame can drown. You needed stillness to recognize what noise would have made you forget. In the quiet, you discovered the sound of your true self, the one who doesn't perform for approval but moves from purpose. It is here, in the hidden place, that heaven trains its greatest warriors. Every unseen prayer, every secret act of kindness, every private moment of surrender, it all becomes ammunition for what comes next. Those who rise without roots wither in the wind, but those who bloom from the hidden place endure. There were people who walked away from you in that season. They could not understand the silence surrounding you. But God was separating noise from necessity. Some were removed because they would have misnamed your process. Others left because they were not assigned to your next chapter. You were not being stripped. You were being streamlined. Heaven was lightening your load for the altitude ahead. Even creation understands hiddenness. The moon only reflects the sun when it is properly aligned in shadow. The pearl is only formed in darkness within the shell. The diamond is only born under pressure, unseen, uncelebrated. Zotu veyu. Hiddenness was heaven's vote of confidence. It meant you carried something valuable enough to protect. Chosen one. When you were hidden, you learned to see in the dark. That's why your discernment is sharper now. That's why your compassion runs deeper. You can recognize the pain in others because you've sat with your own in silence. You can speak hope now because you know what it feels like to live without it. Soon, the hand that covered you will uncover you. And when that moment comes, it won't be for show, it will be for service. You will not need to prove who you are. The fruit will testify. The same world that once overlooked, you will witness the evidence of your refinement. The same silence that once haunted you will become the sound of strength. So do not despise the hiding place. Beloved, thank God for it. Thank Him for every unseen season, for every quiet night where only His voice held you together. Those were the nights that made you dangerous to darkness. When heaven finally releases what it has been preparing, The world will call it sudden. But you and heaven will know it was never sudden. It was sacred. Chosen one. Can you feel it? That stirring deep within your spirit, the quiet heat that rises when heaven breathes on your purpose again. The flame that once flickered in the dark is burning brighter now. You may not see the full blaze yet, but the embers are alive. Heaven has leaned close, and the fire of remembrance is being reignited within you. For a long time, you mistook stillness for stagnation. You thought your season of waiting meant that your fire had gone out. But what you didn't realize is that even coals that look cold still carry heat. All it takes is one divine breath, and suddenly everything burns again. Chosen one. This is that moment, the moment when heaven exhales over your soul. The waiting has not been wasted. The ashes of your past are not evidence of defeat. They are the proof of what survived. Every trial you thought would extinguish you has only made your fire purer. What was once smoke is becoming signal, heaven's signal that your time has come. According to what is revealed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6, fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you. That gift, buried under fear and fatigue, is still there. It never left you. You may have grown weary, but the call never withdrew. The flame inside you might have been dimmed by disappointment, but it was never destroyed. And now, that divine spark is being fanned again. You've walked through seasons that felt cold and endless. You tried to reignite your passion with effort. But this kind of fire doesn't come from striving, it comes from surrender. The moment you stop forcing and start flowing, heaven's breath moves freely again. Fire doesn't fight to burn, it just burns. And you, chosen one, are meant to burn brightly. Look at your life, every pain, every pause, every prayer that ended in tears. All of it has become fuel. You thought your fire was fading, but in truth, heaven was gathering kindling. Every hardship has prepared you for greater combustion. You were never cooling off, you were being concentrated. When God reignites a soul, He doesn't return you to who you were, He launches you into who you were meant to become. The flame is different now. It's not wild and unstable, it's steady and strong. You are not burning out, you are burning through fear, burning through shame, burning through every lie that told you your light was gone. Chosen one, when your fire rises, darkness retreats. You may not realize it, but even now, your glow is disturbing. Spiritual forces that have long occupied your territory. Every step you take in remembrance sends shockwaves through the unseen. You are carrying light into spaces that haven't seen hope in years. You are carrying warmth where hearts have gone cold. The enemy tried to convince you that your fire was gone, but he underestimated the breath of God. He thought the ashes meant the end. But ashes are sacred. They are evidence that something once burned and can burn again. The Spirit does not reignite strangers, He reignites heirs. And you, chosen one, are an heir of holy fire. Do not fear the size of your spark. Even a single flame can light an entire forest. Even a whisper of faith can summon the roar of revival. Heaven is not asking you to perform, it's asking you to yield, to let the breath of God blow freely through your surrendered heart. Right now, as you read this, something is awakening. You may feel chills, tears, or peace rising from deep inside. That's not emotion alone, it's activation. The same Spirit that hovered over creation is hovering over you, waiting for your agreement to ignite the next chapter of your destiny. And when you feel it, when that fire finally catches again, make this declaration in the comments: "My fire lives." Type it as a statement of remembrance, a prophecy over your own soul, because every time you say it, you remind heaven and hell alike that your light cannot be extinguished. "My fire lives" is not just words, it's a vow. It means your purpose still breathes, your calling still stands, and your heart still burns for what is holy. This is your reignition moment. The wind of God is moving again. Don't hide the flame this time. Let it spread. Let it warm the hearts of the cold and light the paths of the lost. You are not a forgotten ember. You are a divine wildfire rising again, destined to illuminate everything around you. Chosen one. Your fire lives. Always has. Always will. Chosen one. There is a sound in the Spirit calling your name again, a sound older than the earth, stronger than time, softer than breath. It's not just a name being spoken, it's an identity being reawakened. You've been walking with fragments of yourself, unsure of what was lost. But heaven never forgot the whole picture. And now, that sound, the sound of recognition, is echoing through eternity, reaching your soul. When heaven speaks your name, it doesn't sound like syllables, it sounds like belonging. It vibrates through the marrow of your being and reminds you that you were made for more. Every time you hear that inner whisper that says, "There must be something greater," that's heaven calling you back to remembrance. You are not chasing purpose, purpose is chasing you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 29, verse 4. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is majestic. That same voice that once thundered through creation is the same one calling you now. It's not distant, it's near, closer than your breath, moving through every heartbeat. The challenge isn't that God has stopped speaking, it's that we've forgotten how to listen. The noise of the world has drowned out the sound of the sacred, but when you silence the distractions, when you lean in, you begin to hear it again, gentle, steady, unmistakable. The sound of recognition doesn't just awaken your ears, it awakens your essence. It reminds you of the garden, the place before pain, before pressure, before performance, where you first walked with God. The sound of His voice once filled that garden, and now, even after all this time, it still finds you in whatever wilderness you're in. Beloved, do you know what happens when you respond to that sound? Heaven moves. Doors open. Chains that have been around your mind for years begin to snap, because when your name is called from eternity, everything not meant for you loses its hold. You begin to rise, not by effort, but by identity. The world might call it motivation, but it's deeper than that. It's spiritual remembrance. It's heaven tuning you back to your true frequency. Like a harp string that had gone out of tune, you are being adjusted back to divine harmony. That's why you've been feeling a pull lately, a holy restlessness, an inner awakening you can't explain. It's your soul responding to its name. And as that sound grows louder, you begin to realize that you were never forgotten. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every quiet season was heaven preparing the stage for your reintroduction. When heaven calls your name, it doesn't call the version of you that was broken, it calls the version that was promised. Your sound is unique. No one else carries it. And when you step into alignment, heaven's orchestra gains a missing instrument. You are part of the melody of redemption, and your return adds balance to the song of creation. Chosen one. This moment, right here, right now, is not random. It's a reunion. A meeting between the voice that calls and the heart that finally remembers how to answer. Let it sink deep into you. Let every part of you that's been weary exhale. You don't have to strive to be chosen. You already are. Now, if this word has found its way into your spirit like water soaking dry soil, let it flow onward. Let this sound ripple through others who have forgotten their melody. You can do that in the simplest ways by sharing this message. A single act of kindness can echo farther than you imagine. Someone out there is waiting for the same sound that has just awakened you. If these words have spoken life into your dry places, let them keep speaking. Like, share, subscribe, not for vanity, but as a vessel. Every time you do, you are helping heaven's message travel farther, reach deeper, and awaken more sleeping hearts. And if you feel led, if your heart stirs with gratitude, you can sow into this stream. Your donation is not payment, it's partnership. It keeps the flow alive. It allows the light to reach those still trapped in the dark corners of forgetting. You are not just giving, you are watering the soil of remembrance. Because in this work, every seed matters. Every share, every act of support becomes a spark that ignites another flame. You are not just a listener, you are a co-laborer in light. You help heaven's melody find its way into the world. So let your life resound. Chosen one, let the sound of recognition echo through every word you speak, every act you take, every place you walk. Heaven is calling your name, and the world is waiting to hear your answer. Chosen one. Do not be surprised that as you begin to remember who you are, opposition has also begun to remember you. When light awakens, darkness stirs. The moment you realigned with your true identity, something in the unseen realm shifted, and the enemies of your destiny recognized it. You are not under random attack, you are under confirmation. The darkness always responds to light that rises. From the very beginning, your name carried weight in the spirit. Before you ever spoke a word or took a step, heaven marked you and hell noticed. The battles you faced were never about your weakness, they were about your potential. You have always been a threat, not because of what you've done, but because of who you carry inside. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 19, "If you were of the world would love its own, but because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you." That is the reason behind your struggle. Chosen one. You were set apart, extracted from what is common, pulled out of the mold of mediocrity. The friction you felt is the cost of being chosen. Do not mistake rejection for loss. Rejection is divine redirection. Every person who left you, every door that closed, was part of heaven's strategy to keep your path uncluttered. You were never meant to carry everyone into your next season. Some were chapters, you are a whole book. Some were mirrors reflecting your past. You are now walking toward your prophecy. The pressure has increased because your position has shifted. The closer you get to purpose, the more resistance you'll feel. But that resistance is proof that you are moving forward. If you were still walking in circles, the enemy would leave you alone. But now, your light disturbs his plans. You carry authority that challenges the structures of darkness. You may feel tired, but fatigue does not mean failure. It means you are fighting for something worth having. Remember, this battle is not fought with anger, but with awareness. The war is spiritual, and your greatest weapon is remembrance. The enemy cannot defeat a mind that knows its identity. When you remember who you are, you also remember who he is not: a ruler, not a rival, just a fallen liar trying to distract what he can no longer destroy. Every whisper of fear, every wave of doubt that crashes against your thoughts, they are tests, not truths. You are not losing ground. You are being trained to stand. Heaven has been equipping you for this moment all along. The pain you endured in the past was strength being built in disguise. You now have the spiritual muscles to hold territory that once terrified you. Chosen one, your enemies remember you because heaven announced your awakening. There is a sound attached to your obedience, a sound that shakes strongholds. You don't have to raise your voice. Your presence already speaks. The glory that walks with you declares war without words. But do not let fear take root. The opposition that rises against you is only evidence that the promise is near. The same God who brought you through the wilderness will now lead you through warfare, and the same light that drew enemies to you will also blind them from harming you. What used to intimidate you will now serve as a backdrop for your victory. You are not fighting for survival anymore. You are fighting for stewardship. Heaven has entrusted you with influence, with anointing, with authority, and you will not lose it by accident. Stand firm, even when you feel surrounded. For those who appear to surround you are outnumbered by those who protect you. The armies of heaven have always been closer than your fear suggested. Every time you choose peace over panic, you win. Every time you forgive instead of retaliate, you advance. Every time you remember your name, darkness loses ground. That is how chosen warriors fight, not with fists, but with faith. So do not be afraid of being recognized by darkness. It's part of the confirmation. You are not being punished. You are being proven. And when the dust settles, even your enemies will know that you were marked by heaven. They will not understand how you endured so much, but they will see that your endurance came from something greater than willpower. It came from divine remembrance. Chosen one, lift your head. The opposition you face is the stage for your next revelation. The battle only began because your breakthrough is near, and the same heaven that called your name will finish what it started. Chosen one, heaven is aligning everything again. What once felt scattered is finding order. What once felt delayed is finding divine timing. The fog that covered your path is beginning to clear, and you are starting to see why every closed door, every lost opportunity, every sudden ending had to happen exactly when it did. This is the moment of divine alignment, when what was once broken starts to fit together with purpose. There is a rhythm to heaven that cannot be rushed. Alignment is not about speed, it's about synchronization. It's when your spirit, your circumstances, and your calling begin to move in harmony with heaven's tempo. You are not late. Beloved, you are right on time. The detours were never distractions, they were directions. You once prayed for clarity and thought God was silent. But now you realize He was rearranging everything behind the curtain of time. He was aligning resources, people, and even obstacles in ways that would push you exactly where you needed to be. Every delay was a divine calibration. Every setback was a sacred setup. The prophet Solomon revealed this truth in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Alu. Every purpose has a time, and every time has a purpose. You couldn't see the full picture because you were standing inside the brushstrokes. But now, as heaven pulls you higher, you begin to see how it all connects: the heartbreak that built empathy, the waiting that built patience, the silence that built trust. Each moment was a piece of the puzzle, fitting perfectly into your destiny. Chosen one. Divine alignment often begins with divine disruption. Heaven had to shake what was unstable to reveal what was unshakable. That is why certain things fell apart, not because you failed, but because they were never meant to fit your future. God will sometimes allow discomfort to direct you toward destiny. The very things that hurt you were actually helping you. And now, heaven is bringing order out of your chaos. You are stepping into a season where the right doors will open without struggle, where the right people will appear without striving, where the right opportunities will recognize your name without you forcing them. This is not luck, it's alignment. Heaven is confirming what your spirit already sensed. There's something holy about this timing. You can feel it, can't you? The sense that everything you've endured is finally about to make sense. You've spent years sowing in tears. Now heaven is aligning the harvest with your hands. Nothing is wasted, not the lessons, not the losses, not the lonely nights. Everything is converging into purpose. But be mindful. Beloved, alignment requires awareness. You must stay sensitive to the gentle nudges of the Spirit. Not every open door is divine, and not every delay is demonic. Sometimes the pause is protection. Sometimes the not yet is mercy. Heaven aligns through peace, not pressure. When it's yours, it won't drain you, it will draw you. The divine pattern often feels paradoxical at first. You are being asked to rest while everything shifts, to trust while nothing is certain, to believe even when evidence is scarce. But that is what faith does. It bridges the unseen with the inevitable. Heaven is not late, heaven is precise. You are being synchronized with the master clock, and nothing can interrupt what God has timed for your life. There is peace in surrender. Chosen one. Stop trying to hold what God is releasing. Stop resisting what God is restoring. When you let go of control, you make room for alignment. The winds that once felt chaotic are now carrying you. The waters that once threatened to drown you are now lifting your boat. Divine alignment is not always loud. Sometimes it's the stillness that says, now is the time. So take this moment and mark it. You are not drifting, you are being guided. The things that once confused you are finding their meaning. Heaven is writing in symmetry what life once scribbled in chaos. The gears of destiny are turning again. And you, chosen one, are the key that makes them move. And as you feel this truth stirring within, respond with faith. Comment 4,444 below as a prophetic act of alignment. 4/4 symbol of stability, balance, and divine order. It's not superstition, it's agreement. When you type it, you are declaring, Heaven, I align with your timing. I trust your plan. I move with your flow. In This is your hour of convergence. What was out of rhythm is finding melody. What was out of place is finding position. The story that once felt scattered is now being sung as a symphony of divine precision. Stand still. Chosen one. Everything is aligning. Chosen one. There is a new power rising within you, quiet, steady, and undeniable. It is not the kind of power that shouts or demands attention. It is the kind that moves mountains with a whisper, the kind that carries authority without arrogance, the kind that heaven trusts because it has been purified through pain. You have spoken before, but this time, your words will carry weight. You have prayed before, but this time, your prayers will shake foundations. The wilderness trained your voice to echo heaven, not hurt. You learned to speak less from emotion and more from revelation. Every silence you endured taught you what words are worth releasing. The apostle wrote in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." That truth has always lived inside you. Your voice has never been ordinary. Every word you release carries the DNA of creation. You were made in the image of a God who speaks worlds into being. That means when you speak, realities shift. But before heaven could trust you with that level of influence, it had to refine what flows from your mouth. Do you remember the times you said things in anger and felt the regret burn afterward? Those moments were lessons. Heaven was teaching you the sacredness of sound. Words are not noise, they are seeds. Some take root immediately. Others rest in soil until the right season comes. But every word you sow will eventually bear fruit, whether of light or of shadow. That's why heaven spent years teaching you restraint. The greatest warriors of light are not those who wield swords, but those who wield words. Every time you chose silence instead of bitterness, you broke cycles. Every time you spoke blessing over those who wounded you, you shifted atmospheres. You didn't even know it, but heaven did. Angels move at the sound of your agreement with truth. Your voice is not just for speaking, it is for creating. Speak peace into your home. Speak healing over your body. Speak vision over your future. The same spirit that hovered over the deep in Genesis now hovers over your words, waiting for sound that aligns with heaven. When you speak with faith, the Spirit moves. And yet, power without wisdom can wound. That's why you were hidden for a time, so that your tongue could be trained by stillness. Silence taught you how to listen before you speak, how to discern before you declare. Every quiet season was heaven teaching you the rhythm of divine timing. Now, when you speak, it will not be noise, it will be prophecy. You have felt it lately, the urge to say things you once feared to say, to declare truths that used to tremble on your lips. That is heaven nudging your voice into alignment. You are no longer repeating what the world says, you are echoing what God says. And that echo carries authority that darkness cannot ignore. Chosen one, do not underestimate the simplicity of your speech. A whisper of truth can collapse a fortress of lies. A single yes from your spirit can reroute generations. Every "I forgive you" becomes a sword that cuts through ancient chains. You are not just talking, you are legislating in the spirit. But this power also comes with responsibility. Guard your words as you would guard treasure. Speak life. Even when death feels easier, declare hope. even when despair seems louder. The kingdom you belong to advances through confession. The tongue of the chosen does not react, it creates. There will be moments when silence will still be your weapon. Not every truth must be spoken at once. Some revelations must mature in silence before they can be released in strength. Discern when to speak and when to hold peace. Power flows through timing as much as truth. You will begin to notice that when you speak, things respond, conversations shift, rooms settle, storms quiet. This is not coincidence, it is confirmation. The anointing on your words now carries weight because your heart has been purified. Heaven only amplifies voices that reflect its heart. Chosen one, your words are rivers. Let them heal, not harm. Let them wash away confusion and plant peace. You are being entrusted with influence not to dominate, but to deliver. The authority you carry now will open doors that effort never could. This is your season to speak with intention. Your tongue is no longer a tool of survival. It is an instrument of creation. The same God who spoke light into darkness now speaks through you. And when you open your mouth in faith, light still answers. Chosen one, do you feel it? The stirring of something old, returning, something that once guided you in dreams, in visions, in whispers, too holy to name. The gift of sight is coming back. Not the kind that merely sees the surface, but the kind that perceives purpose. This is the season where vision returns, where heaven restores not just your physical sight, but the eyes of your spirit. For a long time, you walked by instinct, not inspiration. You moved by survival, not by sight. You made decisions from fear instead of faith, because the pain of disappointment blurred your view. There were seasons where you stopped dreaming because every dream seemed to dissolve in your hands. You didn't lose ambition, you lost clarity. But now, heaven is wiping the dust from your eyes. The Spirit is whispering again, bringing color back into what once looked gray. You are starting to see beyond what is visible, to recognize divine patterns in what once felt random. Vision is being restored, not as a reward, but as a reunion. You are remembering what you saw before the world taught you to doubt. The prophet Habakkuk received the same instruction in his day, as recorded in his scroll. Chapter 2, verse 2. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Leng, that same command is echoing now over your life. Write what you see, even if it scares you. Record the glimpses that stir your heart, because they are not imagination, they are invitation. Heaven is showing you previews of what's coming, and the more you honor them, the clearer they will become. When vision returns, it never comes quietly. It interrupts. It challenges. It stretches you beyond comfort into calling. The things you once tolerated will begin to feel too small because vision always enlarges the soul. You will crave silence again, not out of weariness but out of wonder, because clarity often comes in quiet. Do not dismiss what you sense just because others do not see it. Vision is lonely before it becomes leadership. There will be people who call your clarity madness because they cannot see what you see. But you are not called to convince them. You are called to continue. The proof of your vision will appear in time. There will be mornings when you wake up with an idea that feels too big for your current capacity. Don't ignore it. That is heaven stretching your imagination to match its intention. Vision rarely fits comfort zones. It always demands faith. And faith beloved, is seeing before it's visible, believing before it's tangible. You may ask, how do I know if it's my thought or God's vision? You'll know by its fruit. If it brings peace even when it scares you, if it points to service and not self, if it calls you higher instead of shrinking you lower, that's heaven's vision. You are entering a season where you will see with new eyes, not eyes that judge, but eyes that discern. You'll begin to notice divine alignments that others overlook, encounters that aren't accidents, words that arrive on time, opportunities that fit like prophecy fulfilled. You'll start to recognize heaven's handwriting in the smallest details of your days. But vision alone is not enough. It must be written, protected, and pursued. Write down what God shows you. Even if it doesn't make sense now, it will later. Words anchor what eyes perceive. The enemy can't steal a vision that's been written in faith. Chosen one, be patient with the process. Vision doesn't unfold overnight. It grows through faithfulness, through prayer, through obedience to small steps. Don't despise humble beginnings. They are proof that the seed has been planted. Every mighty tree began as a fragile sprout that no one noticed. Your clarity will return in layers, first as glimpses, then as guidance, and finally as governance. When you begin to lead others into the light you once longed for, you are being entrusted not only to see, but to help others see. Your restored vision will become a map for those still wandering in the dark. The days of blindness are ending. Chosen one, the veil is lifting, and sight is returning. You will dream again, plan again, build again. The same God who gave you eyes to see the natural is now awakening your eyes to the supernatural. And once you see from heaven's perspective, you will never settle for the view of earth again. Chosen one, heaven is placing something on your head again, a crown, not of gold or jewels, but of fire, a symbol of divine authority and spiritual endurance. It is the crown of those who have endured the refining, those who have walked through flame and did not lose their faith. You may not see it in the mirror, but all of heaven does. You wear the mark of one who has overcome. There is a fire that does not destroy but defines, a flame that does not burn you down but burns away everything that was never meant to remain. You have walked through that fire. Every season of heartbreak, betrayal, and silence was fuel for your transformation. You thought it was punishment, but it was purification. The apostle wrote in the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, "These trials will show your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Your faith is far more precious than gold." Chosen one, heaven calls you precious, not because you are perfect, but because your faith has been proven in fire. The crown you wear now was not handed to you. It was forged in the furnace of affliction. Every tear you cried became molten gold in heaven's hands, shaping the edges of this crown of fire that now rests upon you. The world crowns with achievement, but heaven crowns with endurance. The world celebrates speed, but heaven honors steadfastness. When you kept going despite exhaustion, when you forgave despite injustice, when you praised despite pain, that's when your crown began to form. It was never about the applause of men, it was about the acknowledgement of heaven. This crown of fire is not just decoration, it is declaration. It declares that you have authority over what once burned you, that you now carry light where you once carried wounds, fire used to frighten you. But now you walk among the flames unharmed. The same pain that once tried to consume you has become your illumination, chosen one. Your presence carries heat now, not the heat of anger, but the warmth of revelation. Wherever you go, hearts thaw. People who are cold in spirit feel alive again. That is the ministry of fire, to awaken, to refine, to reveal. You are not meant to hide this crown under fear or false humility. Let the light of it testify. Think of yourself as a lantern in a storm. You don't argue with the darkness, you simply shine. You don't fight to prove your light, you just remain lit. The world is desperate for warmth, desperate for clarity, and you, crowned with fire, have both. But remember this, fire must be tended. Keep the flame alive with prayer, with stillness, with gratitude. Do not let bitterness become the wind that tries to extinguish your glow. Protect your peace like a temple flame, sacred, constant, intentional. The crown you carry needs the oil of intimacy to keep burning. And if this message reaches your heart like a spark touching dry wood, let it spread. Let it move beyond you. Share this flame so others can find their warmth again. Like, share, subscribe, not as a routine, but as a reflection of light. When you do, you are passing the torch of awakening forward. There are others walking in shadows who will only see because you carried your flame faithfully. And if you feel stirred to give, do it not out of obligation, but out of overflow. When you sow into what feeds your spirit, you are not losing, you are planting light. Your support, your gift, your donation becomes another spark that keeps the message alive. Together, we build altars of remembrance in the digital wilderness, where lost hearts can find the fire again. And to those reading now, pause and let your heart speak. What part of this word touched you? What flame within you began to flicker? Comment your reflection below, not for visibility, but for connection. Your words may be the match that lights another person's spirit tonight. You see, this crown of fire is not just yours. It represents a collective rising. Each chosen one who remembers, who burns with faith again, becomes part of heaven's great constellation of light. Together, we illuminate the night. Together, we carry fire where fear once ruled. So, lift your head, flame bearer. You are crowned not for comfort, but for calling. Your crown does not make you better than others. It makes you responsible for them. Keep burning. Keep believing. Keep becoming. Chosen one. You are not walking alone anymore. The path that once felt lonely is now filled with echoes of footsteps beside you, others like you, awakened, remembering, rising. Heaven never chose one light, it chose many. And now, those who have been refined in their private battles are beginning to emerge together. This is the march of the remembered ones. You were never meant to fight your battles in isolation. The hidden seasons served their purpose. But the time for solitude is giving way to the time for solidarity. The same voice that called you out of darkness is calling you into unity. The world is changing, and heaven's army is taking its positions not in armor of steel, but in garments of light. Each one of you carries a piece of the divine plan, a spark that only fulfills its purpose when joined with others. You were a torch in the wilderness, but together, you are a wildfire of restoration. The alignment you feel is not just within you, it is among you. The remembered ones are finding each other again, just as heaven intended. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 16, declares, "From him, the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love." As each part does its work, that is what you are seeing unfold. Chosen one, the divine body awakening, each remembered soul finding their rhythm, their role, their resonance. One carries wisdom, another carries healing, another carries prophetic sight. Each one is necessary, none are accidental. Together, you complete what could never be finished alone. And this time, unity will not be based on title or tradition, but on truth. The remembered ones will recognize each other not by clothing or creed, but by the light in their eyes, the unmistakable glow of those who have seen the face of fire and lived. When they speak, you will feel familiarity. When they worship, you will feel home. The world will not understand it. It will look like coincidence, like chance encounters and random meetings. But you will know better. The Spirit never connects by accident. When you meet someone whose soul burns in rhythm with yours, you are witnessing prophecy fulfilled. This gathering of the remembered is not for comfort, it is for conquest. Not of nations or crowns, but of hearts and atmospheres. Together, you are reclaiming what was lost, rebuilding what was broken, reigniting what was extinguished. Each one of you carries part of the blueprint, and only in unity will the full structure appear. You may have felt misunderstood before, but among the remembered, you will finally be seen. You will find those who understand the language of your scars, who recognize the rhythm of your endurance. There is healing in being known. In standing among those who carry the same light, heaven has been preparing this generation quietly, like roots spreading unseen beneath the soil. And now, the surface begins to break. What once looked like individual fires are merging into a collective blaze. The remembered ones are rising, not to destroy, but to heal. They come carrying truth in one hand and mercy in the other. Chosen one, you are part of this movement. The loneliness you once felt was the ache of separation. The peace you feel now is the pull of alignment. You were never meant to burn alone. Every step you take in obedience creates ripples that touch others, walking parallel paths. Heaven is connecting the lines, threading the sparks, building constellations out of once scattered stars. The remembered ones are not loud, they are luminous. They do not shout for attention, they shift atmospheres by existing. They do not beg for recognition, they bring revelation. They carry heaven's calm and its courage. They are storm walkers, light bearers, world shapers. And you, chosen one, are among them. This is the season when the separate fires unite. The convergence has begun. You will recognize it not by announcements, but by alignment. You'll feel it in divine timing, in unexplainable peace, in supernatural connection. The remembered are gathering, not by effort, but by energy. The frequency of heaven is calling its own back home, and as they come together, one by one, heart by heart, the darkness trembles. For the remembered are not merely awakened, they are activated. They know who they are. They know why they came, and nothing will ever silence them again. You are one of them. You are part of the great rising of remembrance. And soon, the world will see what heaven has been quietly preparing, a generation that does not just believe in light, but becomes it. Chosen one. This is the hour of completion, the moment when remembrance ripens into realization. Everything heaven has whispered, everything you have endured, everything that has shaped and refined you has been leading to this convergence, the final reminder of who you truly are. You have come full circle, from forgetting to remembering, from surviving to reigning. The story that once felt fragmented now flows as one river of divine design. This is not the end of your journey, it is the unveiling of your essence. You are no longer the one searching for purpose, you have become purpose itself. The silence, the storms, the seasons of hiddenness, all of it was the sculpting of heaven's masterpiece. You are that creation, that living testimony of grace and resilience. The fire that once tested you now burns within you, steady and eternal. Heaven has not changed its mind about you. The promise spoken over your life still stands, untouched by failure, unmoved by time. The divine plan has not been delayed, it has been developed. You were never waiting on God, He was waiting on your remembrance. And now that you remember, everything locked inside you begins to unfold like dawn, spreading across the horizon. It was proclaimed in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. Hold fast what you have, that no one may take your crown. In that crown the one of fire, of endurance, of remembrance is already upon your head. It is not made of gold, but of glory, forged from faithfulness. It is a symbol not of superiority, but of survival, not of pride, but of purpose. You have kept walking when others stopped. You have kept believing when evidence disappeared. You have kept shining when night refused to end. That persistence is your crown. Chosen one. You have become what you were always meant to be, a living altar of remembrance. Everywhere you go, light follows, not because you try, but because you are. You carry heaven's language in your eyes, heaven's peace in your presence, heaven's power in your words. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis now hovers within you, turning every step into sacred ground. Look around you. What once was chaos is now harmony. What once was fear is now faith. Even your scars have changed. They no longer scream of pain but sing of purpose. Every part of you tells the story of redemption. Heaven is not asking you to do more. It is inviting you to be more, to live as one who remembers. There will still be storms, but you will no longer drown in them. There will still be challenges, but they will no longer shake you. You have learned the rhythm of rest in the middle of resistance. You know now that the presence of battle does not mean the absence of blessing. You walk with authority because you understand that victory was never about conquering others. It was about conquering the parts of yourself that once forgot who you were. You have become still, yet unstoppable, gentle, yet powerful, humble, yet radiant. This balance is the fruit of remembrance. You no longer chase recognition because you've realized that being seen by heaven is enough. You no longer cling to control because you've learned that surrender is strength. You no longer fear endings because you've discovered that every ending in God is just another beginning in disguise. Chosen one. The world will begin to notice your light. But do not mistake that attention for a rival. The true work of remembrance is not in being known, but in making Him known. The reason you have been awakened is not merely for your own restoration, it is for the restoration of others. Your remembrance will awaken remembrance in them. Your life will become a living mirror, reflecting the image of what they have forgotten they carry. You will see it happen, eyes opening, hearts softening, people rising from despair, because your presence reminded them that heaven has not forgotten them either. That is the legacy of the remembered ones. They do not speak of light, they embody it. And now, chosen one, as you stand in the fullness of who you are, heaven looks upon you and smiles. The journey through shadow was worth it. The forgetting was worth it, because from it, a warrior of light has emerged, unbroken, unashamed, unstoppable. You are not returning to what you were. You are stepping into what you've always been. The circle is complete, the memory restored, the mission revealed. Heaven whispers one last reminder. You were never lost. You were simply being led home. Chosen one. If these words have found a home in your heart, if something deep within you stirred, remembered, or reignited, then let that light move forward. What you carry now is not just inspiration, it is impartation. You are the flame, and the world is waiting for your warmth. Let this be more than a moment. Let it become a movement. Share this message not as content, but as a calling. Somewhere, someone is still in the dark, and your simple act of sharing may become their spark of remembrance. If this journey has spoken life into your spirit, let it continue. Like, comment, subscribe. These are not clicks, they are connections. The threads that keep light traveling across hearts and nations. Tell me, what part of this message resonated most with you? What truth set something free inside? Your words might be the bridge another soul needs to cross from confusion to clarity. And as you move forward, never forget, the same heaven that reached for you through these words will continue to walk beside you. You are chosen, remembered, and crowned with light. Keep shining and let the world see what heaven has done.